Good morning, my friends. This is William Johnson from Lifewell Seniors. How are you feeling today? Did you wake up with lightness in your step and a smile on your face? Or did you feel a little sluggish before you even had your first cup of coffee? I want you to take a moment and think about that. In fact, I would love for you to tell me in the comments. Sharing your morning experience helps all of us here in the Lifewell Seniors family learn from each other. Now, picture this with me. It is a quiet morning in your kitchen. The sunlight is streaming through the curtains. On the table, there is golden toast, a steaming cup of coffee with milk, and a tall glass of bright orange juice. It looks beautiful, comforting, familiar. But here is the surprise. Oh, for people over 60, that same breakfast can be a slow and silent way of damaging your heart, your liver, and your brain. Even worse, it can drain your energy before noon, all without you realizing what is happening. I am telling you this because, as a physician who has worked with older adults for decades here in the United States, I have seen it again and again. And my Japanese colleague, Dr. Hiroki Tanaka, saw it too. He spent more than 30 years treating thousands of seniors and noticed a pattern that was hard to ignore. The same group of foods kept showing up on their breakfast tables, and the same symptoms kept showing up in their lives: morning fatigue, cloudy thinking, joint aches, and unstable blood pressure. When Dr. Tanaka and I compared our notes, the truth was undeniable. Some of the most common breakfast foods in America are the very ones quietly pushing older adults toward faster aging and chronic illness. But here is the good news. My friends, we can change that, not with expensive supplements, not with complicated diets, simply by rethinking what we put on our plate in the first 2 hours of the day. In this video, I am going to show you 5 breakfast foods that may look healthy, but are secretly harmful after age 60. And for each one, I will give you a satisfying, affordable swap that you can start tomorrow morning. By the end of this conversation, you will know how to keep your energy steady all the way to lunchtime, support your memory and focus, calm inflammation that causes joint pain, keep your blood sugar in a healthy range for the next 12 hours. If that sounds like something you want for yourself, or for someone you love, then stay with me until the end, because the 5th food on this list is sitting in almost every pantry in America, and removing it could be your turning point. Now, take a deep breath, settle in, and maybe even grab a notebook. The next few minutes could completely change the way you think about breakfast and the way you feel for the rest of your life. Why breakfast hits harder after 60? Before we go any further, I just want to pause for a moment and say something to you. You are a very special person for staying here with me until this point. So many people click away when it comes to their health, but you are still here, investing in yourself. That tells me you care. You care about feeling your best. You care about living the life you deserve. Thank you for being here. Because what I am about to share with you, most people will never hear from their doctor. Let us talk about why breakfast matters so much more after the age of 60. You see, when you were 30, your body could handle a lot more without showing signs of stress. You could eat a bagel with cream cheese, wash it down with a glass of juice, and you would bounce right back. But once you pass 60, your body is not the same machine it once was. And I do not say that to discourage you. I say it so you understand how to work with your body, not against it. Here's the first big change. Your metabolism, the rate at which your body turns food into energy, slows down by about 20 to 30%. That means if you eat the same breakfast you did at 30, your body now burns it more slowly and stores more of it as fat. Second, your digestive system changes. Your body makes fewer digestive enzymes. These are the little helpers that break down fats, proteins, and sugars. Without enough enzymes, heavy foods feel like a rock in your stomach, and sweet, refined foods hit your blood sugar much faster. Third, your liver becomes more sensitive. This amazing organ works like the body's filter, cleaning out toxins and processing nutrients. But after 60, it takes more time and energy to do the same job. If your first meal floods it with sugar, processed oils, and chemical additives, it is like making your dishwasher handle a full load of greasy pans without any soap. Fourth, your gut lining becomes thinner and more delicate. Think of it like the lining of a favorite old jacket. It can still protect you, but it needs more gentle care. If you throw harsh foods at it, processed flours, artificial sweeteners, and bad fats, you irritate it, and that irritation can cause bloating, gas, or even silent inflammation that spreads through your whole body. Finally, there are hormonal changes. After 60, insulin, the hormone that helps manage blood sugar, does not work as efficiently. Cortisol, your stress hormone, can spike faster and higher. That means your body reacts more strongly to sugar, caffeine, and even skipped meals. So here's the truth, my friends. The older we get, the more our mornings set the tone for the rest of the day. What you eat in those first 2 hours after waking can make the next 12 hours easier or harder. This is why I call breakfast the daily decision point for seniors. Eat right, and you give yourself steady energy, clear thinking, and a calmer body. Eat wrong, and you create an uphill battle you have to fight until bedtime. Now, I want to ask you something. Have you noticed that you get tired, irritable, or hungry again just a couple of hours after breakfast? If that has happened to you in the last week, type yes in the comments. It is not just you, it happens to millions of older adults every single day. And the good news is, there is a way to change it. In just a moment, we are going to walk through the 5 most common breakfast foods that trigger those problems. They are the same foods I used to see on my patients' tables every morning, and they are probably in your kitchen right now. But I am not just here to tell you what to avoid. I am going to give you delicious, realistic swaps for each one, options that work with your metabolism, your digestion, and your energy needs after 60. So take another deep breath and know this. You have already taken the first big step by being here and learning. The next step is about to be even more powerful. If you are still with me now, give yourself a little credit. You are showing commitment to your own health. And I promise, what you learn in the next section could change not just your mornings, but your entire quality of life. All right, let us get started with the first breakfast villain. It might just surprise you. The 5 hidden breakfast villains and their better swaps. Before we start, I want to say something important. If you are still watching at this point, you are not just a viewer. You are someone who truly cares about your health. You are investing your time and attention into learning how to live better. That means a lot to me. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying with me. Now, I promised you 5 breakfast foods that look harmless, even healthy, but are quietly working against you after age 60. For each one, I will also share a simple, satisfying swap you can try as soon as tomorrow. These swaps are not just healthier, they are designed for the way a senior's body actually works. And remember, after I explain each one, I want you to tell me in the comments, would you be willing to swap it for just 1 week? Your experience might inspire someone else in our Lifewell Seniors family to make the change. Number 1, white bread and toast. We grew up with toast as the perfect breakfast. It is quick, warm, and it smells like home. But here's the truth. White bread is made from refined flour. Your body turns it into sugar almost instantly. After 60, that quick sugar rush hits harder. Your blood sugar spikes, your insulin rises, and then it drops fast. That is why you feel tired or hungry again by mid-morning. The better swap. Try roasted sweet potato slices instead of toast. Slice them 1/2 inch thick. Brush with a little olive oil and roast until soft. They are naturally sweet, full of fiber, and they will not send your blood sugar on a roller coaster. You can also try steel-cut oats with a sprinkle of cinnamon, or genuine whole grain bread with at least 3 grams of fiber per slice. And I mean genuine, check the label and make sure whole grain is the first ingredient. Your turn. Would you be open to trading your toast for one of these swaps just 3 times this week? Type yes in the comments if you're willing to try. Number 2, margarine, cream cheese, and vegetable spreads. I know these are easy. Spread it on and breakfast is done. But most margarine and cream cheese are full of processed oils and sometimes trans fats. Even the so-called zero trans fat versions can contain small amounts per serving, and those add up. These fats cause inflammation in your arteries. They raise bad cholesterol and lower good cholesterol. Over time, that is a recipe for heart trouble. The better swap. Mash a ripe avocado with a pinch of sea salt and a squeeze of lemon. Or try hummus. It is creamy, full of plant protein, and gentle on the digestive system. You can also use a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil with fresh herbs for a light, heart-friendly spread. If you have a favorite healthy spread, Share it in the comments so others can try it too. Number 3, packaged or 100% natural fruit juices. A tall glass of orange juice feels like sunshine in a cup, but without the fiber of whole fruit. That juice is just concentrated sugar. Even 100% natural juices flood your liver with fructose. After 60, your liver processes sugar more slowly. That extra load turns into fat around the liver and the belly. It also sets you up for a blood sugar crash before lunchtime. The better swap. Eat the fruit whole. You get the fiber, the chewing satisfaction, and a slower release of sugar. Or try starting your day with herbal tea, peppermint, ginger, or green tea. If you want something refreshing, add slices of lemon and fresh mint to ice water. Now, I am curious how many of you have juice every morning. Let me know below. You might be surprised how common it is. Number 4, coffee with milk and sugar on an empty stomach. I know this one will touch a nerve. Coffee is a morning ritual for many of us, but when you drink it with milk and sugar before you eat anything, you hit your stomach with caffeine, lactose, and sugar all at once. Caffeine on an empty stomach raises stomach acid. Lactose gets harder to digest with age, leading to bloating or gas, and sugar spikes your blood sugar right before your body has any protein or fiber to balance it. The better swap. If you love coffee, have it black, but after your breakfast, not before. Or start your day with warm lemon water or ginger tea to wake up your digestion gently. Then, if you still want coffee, enjoy it after you have eaten some protein. Who here is brave enough to try this change for 1 week? If you are, type coffee change in the comments so I can cheer you on. Number 5, industrial cereals and store-bought granola. The colorful box. The whole grain label. The promises of vitamins, they look healthy. But most breakfast cereals are loaded with sugar, refined grains, and processed oils. Even store-bought granola can carry more sugar than a cookie. After 60, these processed carbs cause fast blood sugar spikes, gut irritation, and more belly fat. And because they digest quickly, they leave you hungry before mid-morning. The better swap. Make your own granola with rolled oats, unsweetened dried fruit, and nuts. Or keep it even simpler, mix oats, chia seeds, and almond milk the night before for easy overnight oats. You get fiber, healthy fats, and protein in one bowl. If you have never made homemade granola before, tell me in the comments and I can make a full video just on that recipe. Now, my friends, take a moment to notice something. If you swap just one of these 5 foods for a better option, you can start feeling a difference in a matter of days. And if you swap all 5, that is when you see real change in your energy, your digestion, and even your mood. In the next part, I will show you exactly what can happen, both the good and the bad, depending on whether you make these changes. Some of what I share might surprise you. The real cost of keeping these foods. My friends, by now you have heard the 5 foods I would never recommend for breakfast after age 60. And you have also heard the swaps that can give you more energy, more focus, and more comfort in your day. But maybe you are wondering, what if I keep my breakfast the way it is? What if I do not make the swap? That is what we are going to talk about right now, the real cost of keeping these foods on your table. First, let us talk about the short-term effects. When you start your day with high sugar, high-fat processed foods, here is what often happens. You get a quick burst of energy, followed by a crash. That crash leaves you feeling tired before noon, sometimes even before 10 in the morning. You might notice your mood changes. You feel a little more irritable or impatient with the people around you. And then comes the craving, the I need something sweet feeling, which sends you reaching for another coffee, a cookie, or more bread. If that sounds familiar, type the word yes in the comments. You are not alone. I hear the same pattern from so many of my patients. Now, let us look at the long-term cost. Over months and years, keeping these breakfast habits increases your risk for type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, heart disease and stroke, memory decline and reduced brain sharpness. Why? Because every morning, your body is getting hit with inflammation, blood sugar spikes, and extra work for your liver and gut. Over time, this daily stress becomes a habit your body cannot hide anymore. I want to tell you a true story. One of my patients, a 72-year-old woman named Margaret, came to me with high blood pressure, low energy, and aching knees. She had been eating the same breakfast for over 30 years. Toast with margarine, a glass of juice, and coffee with milk and sugar. When I explained to her what we have been talking about today, she was shocked. She told me, Dr. Johnson, I had no idea my breakfast was making me tired. So we made one change. She swapped her toast and margarine for roasted sweet potato with avocado and traded her juice for herbal tea. She kept everything else in her life the same. After 3 weeks, she came back smiling. Her energy was steady until lunch. Her knees felt better. She was sleeping more deeply. She said, I never thought changing my breakfast could change my life, but it has. Friends, that is the power of this choice. You do not have to change everything all at once. You do not need to spend hundreds of dollars on fancy diets or supplements. You simply need to respect what your body needs now. In this season of life, if you are still watching with me at this point, I want to tell you again, you are special. Not everyone makes it this far. You have stayed, you have listened, and you are thinking about your future. That deserves respect. So let us keep going. In the next section, I will give you the golden rules for a senior-friendly breakfast. This is the part where you will have a clear, simple formula to build your morning plate every single day without guesswork. Before we go there, tell me in the comments, which of the 5 breakfast swaps sounds easiest for you to try this week? Your answer might give someone else the courage to start. If you are ready, let us move straight into the part that ties all of this together. The golden rules that will help you choose the right breakfast for the rest of your life. The golden rules for a senior-friendly breakfast. My friends, you have done wonderfully staying with me this far. I hope you feel proud of yourself because you have shown the kind of focus and commitment that truly changes lives. And I am here to make sure you get the most out of this time together. We have talked about the breakfast villains, the foods that quietly work against you after age 60. We have talked about the real cost of keeping them on your plate. Now, let me give you the golden rules that will help you choose your breakfast every single day with confidence. These are the same rules I share with my patients, and they have become a core part of my senior wellness tips for anyone who wants to feel stronger, sharper, and more balanced. Golden rule number 1, easy to digest. After 60, your stomach, liver, and gut do not process heavy or greasy foods as well as they used to. If your first meal of the day is too heavy, you set yourself up for bloating, discomfort, and sluggish energy. So choose foods that are gentle. Think boiled or poached eggs instead of fried. Think cooked vegetables instead of raw cruciferous veggies first thing in the morning. Think warm oatmeal instead of a dense, processed pastry. Ask yourself each morning, will this breakfast feel light in my stomach 2 hours from now? If the answer is yes, you're on the right track. If you have a go-to easy on the stomach breakfast, please share it in the comments. It might help another member of our Lifewell Seniors family find their perfect start. Golden rule number 2, low glycemic index. This means your breakfast will not send your blood sugar soaring and then crashing. Low glycemic foods release their energy slowly, giving you steady fuel for the whole morning. Good options include steel-cut oats, berries, apples, pears, and whole grain breads made from true whole flour. Pair them with a little healthy fat and protein to slow digestion even more. One of my favorite combinations is half a cup of steel-cut oats cooked in water, topped with blueberries and a teaspoon of ground flax seed. It is warm, filling, and gentle on blood sugar. If you have ever felt shaky or extra hungry just 2 hours after breakfast, type yes in the comments. That is your body asking for a lower glycemic start. Golden rule number 3, anti-inflammatory foods. Inflammation is at the root of many health challenges we face as we age, from arthritis to heart disease. Breakfast is the perfect time to load your body with anti-inflammatory nutrients. Add cinnamon to your oatmeal. Choose green tea instead of sweetened coffee drinks. Use olive oil or avocado instead of margarine. Sprinkle chia seeds or walnuts on your fruit or yogurt. These small changes, done daily, can calm inflammation and support your joints, heart, and brain. If you already use any anti-inflammatory foods in your breakfast, tell us about it. I love hearing your ideas, and others will too. Golden rule number 4, include protein. Protein is essential for maintaining muscle mass, supporting immunity, and helping you feel full longer. And as we age, our bodies become less efficient at using protein, which means we actually need a little more than we did when we were younger. Aim for 10 to 20 grams of protein at breakfast. That might be 2 boiled eggs, a cup of unsweetened Greek yogurt, or a protein-rich smoothie made with almond milk and plant-based protein powder. One of my favorite quick options is an egg and spinach scramble with a sprinkle of feta cheese. It is ready in under 10 minutes and keeps me satisfied until lunch. If you are wondering how much protein you get in your current breakfast, share what you eat in the comments. I will reply with some quick guidance. Bringing the rules together. When you put these 4 rules into practice, easy to digest, low glycemic index, anti-inflammatory, and protein-rich, you set yourself up for a better day. Let me give you 3 complete examples you can try this week. Example 1, boiled egg, sliced apple, a teaspoon of chia seeds, and green tea. Example 2, unsweetened Greek yogurt, blueberries, a sprinkle of flaxseed, and herbal tea. Example 3, roasted sweet potato slices with avocado mash, and a cup of ginger tea. You do not need a complicated recipe book to start eating well. You just need a few go-to meals that fit the rules and make you feel good. Your turn to act. Now, I want to hear from you. Which golden rule will you start with tomorrow? Type it in the comments. When you share it, you are not just committing to yourself. You are encouraging others in our Lifewell Seniors community. And remember, my friends, change does not happen all at once. But every choice you make in the morning is a message to your body. I care for you. I want you to thrive. In our final part, I am going to give you a gentle transition plan that will help you put these ideas into practice without feeling overwhelmed. And I will share a few words from the heart about why your breakfast choice is about more than just food. It is about your future. Gentle transition plan and closing inspiration. My friends, we have covered a lot together today. We have looked at the 5 breakfast foods that can quietly harm you after the age of 60. We have talked about simple, satisfying swaps that work with your body instead of against it. And we have laid out the golden rules for building a breakfast that supports your health. Now, I want to help you take these ideas and make them real in your life without stress, without overwhelm. The 1 change a week method. You do not have to change everything overnight. In fact, I do not recommend it. Change is more likely to stick when you take it 1 step at a time. Here's what I tell my patients. Pick just 1 breakfast swap from today's list and make that your focus for the week. Maybe you replace white bread with roasted sweet potato. Maybe you swap your morning juice for whole fruit and herbal tea. Do that for 7 days. Notice how your body feels your energy, your digestion, even your mood. Then, the next week, add 1 more change. By the end of 5 weeks, you will have transformed your breakfast, and you will have done it in a way that feels natural. Shift your mindset. Think of your breakfast as morning medicine. Every bite is a message to your body. You can send the message, I'm rushing, I do not care. Or you can send the message, I love you, I am here to nourish you. When you choose food that is easy to digest, low in sugar, anti-inflammatory, and rich in protein, you're giving your body the tools to heal, protect, and thrive. Final words from the heart. If you have stayed with me all the way to this point, you are truly special. You have shown that you value your health, your time, and your future. That makes you a leader in our Lifewell Seniors family. So I want to thank you sincerely for being here. It means more than you know. And now, my gentle challenge to you. Before you go to bed tonight, decide on 1 change you will make to tomorrow's breakfast. Write it down, commit to it. And when you do it, come back and tell me in the comments how it felt. Your next step, if you found even 1 helpful idea in this video, please like it, subscribe to Lifewell Seniors, and share it with someone you love. Your support helps me continue to bring you the best senior wellness tips and practical strategies you can use right away. And do not miss our next video. I will reveal 3 morning drinks that can boost your energy better than any supplement. These are safe, natural, and can become a joyful part of your morning ritual. Until then, take care of yourself. My friends, your health is your greatest treasure. Cherish it every single day.